Chapter 7. Waiting Games. The bus stop lies in darkness. An eerie silence surrounds the scenery. Evren tries to determine what is different until she realizes that she misses the constant hum of electrical devices, the sound of the city, the noises of a myriad of appliances. Out here in the wind-still night, there is only silence. Suddenly, Evren's arm clip vibrates. If possible, go to settlement at highway. Stay low. Help is on its way. Evren is electrified.
JP!
She exclaims. She turns to her friends and shows her arm clip.
JP messaged me.
She calls out excitedly, her voice echoing back from the charging station. Surprised at the loudness of her voice, she continues more quietly.
JP figured out that we are near the village.
She pauses in sudden insight and her gaze wanders along the road into darkness.
You feisty old Amma.
She whispers, and a happy smile spreads across her face. The others stare at her irritated.
Mind sharing your happy thought?
Seren grunts as she shifts her leg position. The pain in her pulsating calf clarifies that she will not find any happy thoughts in the near future.
She's using the access keys we found on the cube.
Evren is excited and relieved.
Wait, what?
Raylan and Terran lean forward, almost causing Seren to roll off the bench.
She must have checked surveillance and air traffic.
Evren muses, lost in thought. Terran asks,
Who is JP?
Jepetia, a good friend of mine.
Evren replies.
I work for her. She's got a toy shop.
She finishes her explanation, slightly embarrassed.
Great, now he trusts some tinkerer with plush toys.
Seren snorts and reaches for her calf to soothe the pain. Evren steps forward, defending Jepetia with righteous fury.
You don't even know her, and you're judging her.
She hisses at Seren.
You have no idea what she and Pico can do.
A little calmer, she adds.
And it's not like we are in the position to choose our friends, are we?
Her direct stare challenges Seren to talk back. Arya tries to ease Evren's anger and gently touches her arm.
It's the pain talking, Ev.
She says and points at Seren's bloodied leg.
She's also still losing blood.
Arya warns the others.
We need to do something about that soon.
Evren's arm clip vibrates again, and she reads the message out loud.
Stay at bus stop. Got visual on you.
Her head shoots up, scanning the surrounding for possible camera locations. She squints her eyes, then waves toward the intersection.
She's on the intersection camera.
Evren points toward the dim traffic lights further down the street.
What does she mean? Stay at the bus stop?
Arya is no expert, but a bus stop seems a bad choice for a hideaway.
Hopefully, she's cooking something up.
Evren responds cheerfully. She trusts Jepetia to find a solution for their predicament. Raylan is still perplexed at this new bit of information.
There are access keys on a surveillance chip? Why?
He pauses as he realizes that these keys yield access to control the city when anarchy and chaos set in.
Before this is all over, I will look at this cue.
He vows to himself. Terran watches Raylan, sensing that his mind is returning to a normal state of incomprehension and fear. He did not pop, as Seren put it. Glancing up, she catches Arya's expression of compassion for Raylan. Or is it affection? Evren clasps her arm clip again and reads out another message.
Help is on the way. ETA 3 hours. Around sunrise.
She breaks off and only reads the rest to herself.
Sorry, kiddo. It had to be Pris. There is no other.
Yes.
Raylan pumps his fist at the good news and beams at Seren.
We'll get you out of here, baby.
Terran also nods with relief, smiling at Seren. Gratified to find a little hope, after all the world-shattering events, she kneels to hug her triple. Meanwhile, Arya spots Evren's strained expression and immediately knows that the rest of the message must have been something devastating.
What is it?
She whispers, leaning in toward Evren.
It's Pris.
She stutters.
Pris is the help.
Evren's eyes fill with tears.
Will my child be with her?
Her eyes are still fixed on her display. There is no other. She reads again. The letters glow brighter, etching their message into Evren's mind.
Pris?
Arya is surprised. She remembers their run-in at the beach all too well. After all this time and all her thoughts about Corin and her school days, Pris is the one she despises most. She was the one who set Corin on his downward spiral that ended with him in the Navy. She was the one that ended Evren's university career. And although she never really accepted it, Corin and Evren desired Pris, not her. Evren wipes her cheeks and slowly shakes her head in frustration.
Why now? Why here?
Arya embraces her and holds her for a moment. She tells her,
I don't know, Ev. But right now, all help is appreciated. We still have bigger problems on our hand.
Raylan's smile freezes as he looks up at Evren and Arya.
Are you okay?
He asks worriedly.
No, we're far from okay.
Arya sighs, glancing at Evren, who takes a few steps onto the empty street, vanishing in the darkness.
We know who will pick us up.
Arya quietly explains, vaguely sensing Evren's silhouette in the dark.
Her name is Pris. We both.
Saren cuts her short and sits upright, ignoring her pain.
Pris is coming? Yeah, baby. Yeah.
She exclaims, pumping her fist above her head before the pain shoots through her leg again.
You know her?
Arya is stunned. Raylan looks at Arya and smiles.
We all know her, and her car, or whatever you call that nightmare.
Hey, that She-Rock saved your ass.
Saren gives Raylan a tap on the back of his head. Taryn also smiles at the good news.
I'm so glad Pris can join us.
She says, but hesitates as she muses about the implications.
I wonder where she housed Corin. She'll never bring him along.
Corin?
At once, Arya and Evren shout out the name. His name in this context seems surreal to them, like a long-forgotten dream or nightmare.
Whoa, calm down.
Taryn is surprised at their reaction and casually addresses their sudden outburst.
Yes, Corin, her crow son.
Evren groans in the dark, scraping street pebbles under her feet as she abruptly turns on her heels. Her pale face is illuminated by the distant traffic lights as she whispers, barely audible.
I have a crow son, Corin.
The white in her eyes burns in the darkness as she slowly approaches the group. Saren stares at the ground, shaking her head. Even for a tough outsider like her, this moment is heartrending.
Oh, sweetie.
Saren murmurs.
I'm so sorry.
Her voice is imbued with honest sympathy for Evren's plight, as she imagines the emotional backlash that must whip through Evren right now. Raylan is speechless. Knowing Evren for so long, he is shocked that she never once talked about her being a Len mother.
Is there anything left in this world that is true?
His eyes wander from face to face, searching for something certain in their eyes. He meets Arya's intent gaze. Breaking off eye contact, he turns to Evren to confront her, but Arya cuts him off.
How about we all let things settle down for a moment and think ahead?
She says, trying to divert the attention away from Evren and onto the obvious.
I'm not good at this terrorism outlaw stuff, but what are our plans after we are saved?
She asks around with raised eyebrows. Silence meets her request, and their brief elation at the thought of rescue dissipates into a void of uncertainty.
Maybe your tinkerer has some ideas.
Saren growls at Arya with irritation in her voice. Their aimless inactivity frustrates her, and the blood loss begins to cloud her thoughts. Arya remains calm and looks out into the darkness.
Don't you have some type of protocol for stuff like this?
Stuff like this?
Raylan shakes his head in disbelief and replies cynically.
No, dear. There is no handbook for trying to save the frigging planet.
I meant more like food and water supplies, typical hiding spots, emergency first aid, weapons. You know, the basics.
Arya shrugs her shoulders. Saren laughs at her simplistic view.
Sweetie, you should cut down on your movie's consumption. Screws with your head, you know?
No, we don't have plans for emergencies like this.
Raylan comes to Arya's defense and explains.
We have safe houses in the city, but out here?
Raylan sweeps the scenery with his hand.
There are no contingency plans out here. We're on our own.
No, we're not.
Evren raises her fist and wields her arm clip like a weapon in front of her.
We've got Jeppy, we've got Pico, and Eddie.
Evren adds, in fond memory of Geppetty as AI. Her shock to see Pris again after so long. Her mind filled with millions of questions about her son. She rests her hopes on her old mentor and their access keys. But what can Geppettia do?
Hopefully enough to get them out of there.